I'm glad you're here, first of all. Second of all, I want to talk about something that's been coming up in my messages a lot recently, and that I've heard from many, many women over time that I think is something that we should address. And that is the reality that some women just try to figure out if he's their future husband way too soon, way too early on. Here's what I mean. Many of us have heard stories, whether that's on TV, in movies, from people, from grandma, from grandpa, from anyone. Stories about people who said, I went on my first date with him or with her and I knew she was the one. I knew he was the one. I was gonna marry him. I knew he was my future husband after that first date, and we've been together ever since. And we hear so many of these beautiful romantical stories that people knew immediately, like love at first sight. And these stories stick in our minds because they're so romantical and they're so beautiful. And we think, oh my gosh, I hope it happens to me like that. Like I hope that that is the case for me when I go on my first date with my future husband. I hope that I just know that it's just gonna be us together forever. And that those stories stick in our brains and we think about those. And this causes something that's very unfortunate. This causes a lot of women, and maybe you're one of them, maybe you've done this before, to go on a first date with a guy and immediately start trying to figure out if he is her future husband, which is really problematic because that's not what we're supposed to try to start figuring out after a first date. Some women know a guy like at their youth group or at their college and they're friends with them and they're not even dating them, and they message me saying, well, I'm trying to figure out if he's my future husband. Please don't do this. Trying to figure out if a guy's your future husband after your first date or your second date is craziness and will drive you bananas. Why? Because typically that's not the way it's supposed to go. That dating is a process of discernment. Dating is meant to be a process that is relaxed, that can be serious, yes, intentional, yes, but is supposed to be something that you can sit back into, enjoy, and to watch unfold along the way and discern along the way. Because we as women can have this idea that we're supposed to know so early on whether or not he's the one, it can cause us to obsess and overthink rather than just letting things develop naturally over time. And if you are a woman who in your life is going on dates and you find yourself trying to analyze whether or not he's the one super early on, this is an indicator of a couple of things. It's an indicator, quite frankly, that you're taking things way too seriously, way too soon. If you're coming home from your first date being like, I don't know if he's my future husband, to saying to your friends like, I just don't know, I'm trying to figure it out, like he checked off these boxes on the list, but I'm not sure if he checks off that. Just stop. You are taking things way too seriously, way too soon. This is also an indicator that you need to relax into the process of dating, that it is not something that's supposed to be figured out on the first day. Allow your feelings to develop, to allow the guy space for his feelings to develop, for you to allow yourself to get to know this guy and to allow him to get to know you. Really important first step before falling in love with someone is getting to know them, getting to know who they are, all those different kinds of things. Dating is something that should be taken seriously, not like, oh, we're so serious, but intentionally, if you see what I'm saying, it should be taken seriously in that way. But I want women to be able to enjoy a date, for crying out loud, without looking at their little list saying, well, I think he checks off this box, this list that they've had forever about what, qualities the one would have, and start holding that up to him on the first date and being like, I gotta analyze this. Let yourself enjoy a date, for crying out loud, right? Let yourself enjoy a man, taking you out to dinner and enjoy a nice night of laughter and conversation without overanalyzing everything. This is really important. Take it one step at a time. There's a million more branches coming out of this of, talking about discernment and when things should be getting more serious and things like that. That's a bigger conversation for another day. But this is just your loving reminder to just stop trying to figure out if he's your future husband after the first date or the second date, or sometimes even the fourth and fifth date, right? We get into these numbers like how many dates should you know? I don't know. It's different for everybody, but we get so caught up in these romantical possibilities that we need to bring ourselves back down to earth and say, look, I need to just think clearly about this and take it one step, one date, one day at a time, rather than trying to figure everything out. Capiche? That's all I got to say to you today. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. Follow me over on Insta at emwilss if you want to join the party over there. I will talk to you soon.